Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you a page from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly drawn by Johanna Basfords. I colour this page with Polychromos pencils by Faber-Castell, and I'll list all the colours down below as I use them. So I'm just going around and filling the centre of that flower, just going around the edges, just in little circular motions, making sure to leave just a little bit of white throughout this page. I make sure to just leave the white just to give a nice highlight, and then you can see I've got my black pencil and I'm just filling in, there's like little spaces between the circles and I just wanted to darken it up, so I'm using black there. And then back to walnut brown just to deepen it up. I wasn't happy with how much white I'd left, so you'll see me do that a few times throughout. Just go back and fill a little bit more in. So then I was using violet and I was going around the edge. I like to make sure the edge is nice and filled in, and then I was blending it out towards the centre of the flower. You'll also notice that I've got a really sharp pencil there. I make sure to keep my pencils sharp throughout. It just gives a nice finish to the page. You can get the colour in where you want it and you're not making funny pencil lines. If you struggle with pencil blending, I have made a video in the past, you can go and check that out. It just shows you how I blend my pencils. So then now onto the next colour. I've used the middle purple pink, and I'm just starting from the centre and basically just repeating that process except from the centre rather than the edge of the flower. And then I go and add that pinky purple colour just to the edge as well, just to help add a bit more colour to the flower so it's not quite so washed out. And then you'll see I end up doing some wee strokes just to help add that sort of variegation that a flower petal sometimes has. Okay, so before I was using really soft pressure, and now you can see that I'm just doing it a bit firmer, using a little bit of a circular motion just to get the colour in onto that edge, just to help balance the colour of the flower out. Oh, and I'm really sorry if my hand gets in the way. I have tried my hardest all throughout this video to not get my hand in front of where I'm colouring, or between the pencil and the camera. I'm learning. And you can see it's starting to get a beautiful soft look to the flower. Now, just like anything in my videos, you can do this step or not. I just liked to add the white in just to help blend it out and just give it an even smoother, softer look. But if you're happy with how your flower's looking without this step, just leave it out. So onto some leaves. Most of the leaves on this page I do in a similar style. I outline in a darker colour and then blend it to the centre and then use a lighter colour. You'll see me do that a lot throughout this video. But yeah, again, I like to use a very sharp pencil. Okay, so when I'm applying the May green, I'm still making sure to leave that little bit of lightness. I might just go over very softly, completely over the white, so it's not technically white, but to my eyes it has a lot of lightness to it. Okay, so I'm just using a similar technique again with the pine green, I think it was, and then just making sure it's really nice and blended softly. And then you might think I'm a little bit crazy using such a blue colour on a green leaf, but it gives it a really nice blue-green look. Sometimes it's nice to use a blue or a yellow or even a red in a leaf. It just gives it a more tonal texture. Not sure if they're the words I'm really looking for, but I think you can see what I mean, especially by the time this leaf is complete. And then blending it out again with the ivory, and I find this just gives it a really nice sort of paint like quality. It just blends it all together, and then you'll see in a minute I just find it's too light, so I go in over with a green again just to darken it up, and then I think I might even use the ivory again just to blend it out again. When you're colouring, you can use, if you start with a nice light layer, you can go over so many times until you end up with the colour you like. So that's the way I like to generally work. When I'm doing tutorials, I do prefer that I just get it right the first time to show you guys, but sometimes that's not always the way, especially when you're just mucking around having fun creating. So you'll see my process as it naturally is. So you can see I've used really firm pressure there in the centre, and then I'm just blending it out towards the edge of the flower. And just watching this now, I'm thinking you should have sharpened your pencil a bit more. But also, you're all lucky enough to hear my daughter's performance in the background. She's playing My Little Pony and singing some real dramatic songs. Right, and so then I've just blended it out a little bit more with that lighter yellow, just almost right out to where that blue is. And then I think soon with another blue I go and blend over it again, and just you'll see a few layers building just to help get a really nice blend between blue and yellow without it looking green. So just the phthalo blue. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. I'm sure someone will tell me if I haven't. Yeah, there's some funny or just some really different names for coloured pencils, isn't there? When I first started colouring and looking at them like, okay, I have no idea how to pronounce that, and just making it up. And someone always tells me I'm wrong. But yeah, I've just got really firm pressure on the outside there and just going softer and softer to the inside to just keep that lightness to the flower. Sometimes when you fully saturate your picture, it doesn't give it a chance to breathe, and it can really just make it not as bright as what you're hoping for. The lightness in it and the darkness, like what I'm doing now with the black, it just gives it such a nice contrast and harmony and balance to the picture. So yeah, there's that final just sort of blending there between the blue and the yellow, and it might just have a tiny hint of green, but yeah, it's not looking like a bright green that you wouldn't expect to see on a flower's petal. Oh, and this is one of my favourite parts of this flower, just adding in that orange, I think, to the throat of the flower. Hopefully that's the right part. It just really made it come to life. Now this is actually my first Johanna Basfords book that I own. I bought it over a year ago, but only just got around to colouring in it just now. And yeah, I really love her drawings and how clean her artwork is. I struggled a little bit, you'll see near the end with the leaves just to the left. My eyesight was just, I was really struggling with it. That day or that time when I was colouring, so you'll see I colour out of the lines a little bit. Not my proudest bit of colouring, but yeah, sometimes my eyes will just play up and I can't focus quite as well. I think if I've been using screens too much, it just, I don't know, plays around with my eyes. But going in with the light flesh there, I really like the pinky almost yellowy tone it adds to the flower, just giving it not so much of a flat look. It really adds a good dimension and a really nice softness to the flower that you can't get with just one tone. Okay, so I just go ahead and fill in all of those lines just with a nice firm pressure, just to get a really nice darkness and bring in some contrast. And then blend it out from the center just with a really nice light hand, and you'll see I've got my pencil almost on the side. It's a really good way to not press too hard. Now you'll see in a moment with the other flower not having any leaves, I still wanted to add this green and the greenness into it. So you'll see I just do a little bit of a fuzzed out or blurred out background, so it just looks like there's a little bit of foliage behind it still with the May green, which you'll see that in a moment. And I really liked the combination of the pink and the green here, like they're opposite each other on the colour wheel, so it helped add in some more contrast.
Okay, so with those flowers you want to be really careful that you're not colouring in the leaves. If you do by accident, I mean, it's not going to be a big deal because they are quite similar, but you'll notice the leaves have a line through the centre of them and the flowers just have a small line halfway through the centre of them. So with these flowers I'm making sure to leave a little bit of lightness. Yeah, so with the darker orange you could see that I was leaving a space for the lighter orange, and then also with the lighter orange you can see there's just a tiny hint of light that I've left just slightly off centre on each petal. Okay, so with this leaf I end up doing it the opposite to how I'd done the other leaves, and starting with the darkest right in the centre at the base and then fading it out, so leaving a nice white highlight around the edge there. And then I go in with the light green and just fill it all in. I think I may have left a tiny little bit of lightness, but yeah, overall it's all filled in. Now with this flower I didn't quite know what I was doing for a start as usual, but then I ended up deciding that I wanted the edges of the flower to be darker and then for the centre to be lighter. I've got a lot of roses out in my garden at the moment, and the exterior petals are really dark and saturated with colour, and then the interior is just basically white, and I really like that look. And I know this isn't a rose, but I just thought I would sort of try and recreate that a little bit, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it ended up. And you'll see in a moment I just wanted to add a little bit of shadow to it because it was just still a little bit flat, so I use a really light grey just to add a little bit of shadow. I didn't want it to be too harsh because I haven't added shadows anywhere else in this picture, and I wanted to keep it cohesive, so you'll see I just used a really light hand just to get a little bit of variation in there and just break it up a little bit to give it a bit more dimension. So like I said at the start, just in case you missed it, these are all Polychromos Faber-Castell pencils. And then also something I didn't say is
this picture in total, well, filming wise, which I filmed the whole thing, took 2.5 hours, so it's not that big a picture to colour in, which is nice, and it's reasonably simple. So yeah, I don't know if you can see or not, but I did go out of the lines a little bit during those leaves. It's something that's always annoyed me. I guess as a child you try so hard not to colour outside of the lines, so it's just sort of ingrained in me to not do that. But after a wee while of focusing, my eyes sorted themselves out and I got back into my normal sort of state. Okay, so these flowers reminded me of Solomon seal. I'm not sure if it was meant to be or not, but they have like these tiny little light green dots on them, so I thought I'd just replicate that by just putting some wee dots in there. And you'll notice here I just tried to do something a little bit different for the centre of these flowers, just a little bit of cross hatching. I don't even remember doing that, to be honest, so maybe I blended it out or something, but just something a little bit different. Yeah, you can see I've sort of blended it out, but it's still gave this texture from memory. And then filling in those leaves that I was doing the exteriors of before. Okay, so here I decided to make this little, is it a brooch or I'm not quite sure, whatever it is, gold, and I've done a full tutorial on how to colour gold before, and for this one I didn't have any reference photo and I probably should have, but I just made it up out of my head, so yeah, I'm not sure if I've got all of the shadows and highlights quite in the right place. If I was to do it again, I would have just quickly looked up on my phone like gold brooch or gold filigree brooch or something like that, just to give myself my eyes something a little bit more to have copied off, but I'm still really happy with how it turned out. So if you want a more full in-depth tutorial on how to colour something gold, I've got a really good video that I've made in the past on that, but yeah, this one it was just sort of like, oh yeah, I'll just do it off the top of my head, but I probably should have looked it up. I'm still happy with how it turned out. So yeah, I just always start with that sort of, I think I used Bist colour. It's a really good soft colour just to sort of put in where you want the darker places first without like committing to black. So it's a lot easier to sort of change your mind if you do along the way. And also with this video I tried to put in a really good mix of real-time footage and then sped up footage, just so it doesn't get too boring and you might actually watch the whole thing. Hands up if you're still here. You better like that like button. Anyhow, yeah, so just let me know, do you like this sort of good mixture? You can sort of see my techniques a lot better when I have got it in real time. Obviously when it's sped up, you just see the colour being applied rather than so much the way it's been applied.
and my hand's in the way again. Sorry about that. But yeah, so here I'm doing some like dark red rubies, so I just wanted to put a nice black shadow in there for a start, and then I add in the red, and then I use a brighter red just to give it a lot more of a pop and like there's actually some light hitting them. And you'll notice I've left some little white patches throughout this just to show that it is a reflective surface. Okay, so you'll notice with my pencil strokes there on the edge I'm using quite a firm pressure, and then I was just doing like a brush stroke almost to get lighter into the centre, and then just using like a little bit of a circular motion as well just to blend it out. Okay, so we're getting nearer to the end of the video, so make sure to let me know what you think, and to give this video a like or even share it if you are part of a colouring group and you found it really helpful, or just to whoever, your mum or your sister or whoever. And yeah, just let me know in the comments section if you've got this book, if you enjoy it, or yeah, just say hi if you like. And yeah, just with this part of the butterfly, I was quite proud of myself. Just thinking about putting that yellow in there, I really liked how the highlight ended up. And yeah, onto that last butterfly, and then I think I've just got that other envelope to finish off that I forgot to do when I was doing the letter. And this butterfly is just quite simple as well. I felt like it needed a little bit more red, the picture, just to balance it out. So thank you for watching, and until next time, happy colouring, bye!